Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Psychedelic here. Got 4 LPs for you tonight, 3 of which are from the Lincoln shop. And then the last one I'm going to share is one from online that I got in the mail today. And I guess you can call this video more of like a mainstream final update. That of which I mean like these are kind of more familiar titles to the psych heads out there. And then the other half, if I make a video maybe this week or next week, because I have like 8 LPs in total to share, that's going to be more related to like private press LPs, including like one archived album that I picked up on. So kind of splitting them up that way, two different themes going on. So let's dive in. So, as you guys know, had a little decision to make between Farm Band and Kingdom. And if you guys saw my psychedelic trip, picked up on some Kingdom. This is from 1970. It's their one and only LP. It's on the small, or it's not a small label, it's a specialty label, which you often didn't see very many psychedelic titles, if at all, on the label. It's usually on their sub-label, Fantasy, but somehow they landed a deal on there. And this is more progressive hard rock, kind of in that progressive hard rock mold. And obviously from 1970, it's going to have some lingering, 60s flavor to it, with some nice fuzz and Hammond organ going on throughout. Very much, a lot of bands were getting kind of more progressive at the turn of the decade. And for some reason, these guys are kind of on the same level, in my opinion, to like a band like Lucifer's Friend. I don't know why they reminded me of them, but they just, in my mind, I was kind of thinking, man, this is a very tight band for how short-lived they were. Based out of California. I don't know a whole lot about them, really. Just kind of found where they were located from, and I believe the producer of this band was Dr. Demento. Someone mentioned that to me, I think in the last video. Let's see. Yeah, Barrett Hansen was his original name. I think he's still alive, too. I looked him up a little bit. The whole thing is fantastic. Like I said, the really tight performances, the songwriting chops, are what really make this album work pretty well for me anyway. Waiting, Hesitating, the opening tracks just like got all these, feedback guitar solos going on, pummeling drums. You guys could check it out. It's pretty scarce these days. You don't see copies popping up very often, so I figured this is kind of like my only chance to secure a copy, So it's on the specialty label, and I did check out Farm Band, while I was there, and it still may be in the shops next time I'm back in there because I'm pretty much the only psych head in Nebraska, which is kind of a perk, I guess you could say. But no, I had to kind of purge some stuff in order to get that Kingdom. I really hate purging stuff from the collection, but what do? I had like $125 worth of some psych and a couple other oddball things, Zeppelin. Yeah, just hate to purge some of that stuff, but if I don't listen to it, it's gonna hit the curb, I guess. But the cool thing is, once I stopped in the shop, he had this one from another guy that came in to do some trading, and I just, for the longest time, been struggling to find a clean copy of this for a relatively decent price. And this has kind of doubled in prices, and this has kind of doubled in price in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, I would say, like towards like 70, 80 bucks now. This is Sir Lord Baltimore, so this is another local pickup here with Kingdom Come from 70 as well. New York City-based band. Listening to their sound, you would think it would be almost like a group from UK or something, because it's very much a hybrid of both the hard rock side of Zeppelin, but also a mixture of like Black Sabbath as well. Very sludgy, very stoned out guitar riffage throughout the whole thing, man. And a lot of people kind of coined this as like one of the very first stoner rock LPs, and they wouldn't be wrong. This is certainly one of them. I've always wanted this image on like a t-shirt, but it's just never happened. But Yeah, man. Been after this one a long time. I have seen their follow-up, their self-titled follow-up, at record shows in the past. Just that one's just it's pretty good, but it's just not on the same overly dramatic level as this one. It's very much in your face, dramatic, um, sludgy as hell, and I love it. It's just for how over the top it is. So, Sir Lord Baltimore is definitely a band that has gotten their due, I would say. They've certainly got a better reputation now than they ever have. So, quintessential hard rock, heavy metal LP. I mean, I would certainly call this, a precursor to like, some heavy metal sounds. Definitely has that kind of influence on top of it. So check her out. Then while I was looking in the shop, I saw some other psych titles, psych and garage titles that, I probably didn't need too bad. I saw question mark and Mysterian's second LP, Action. Not too crazy about the record, but it's kind of cool to see that stuff, landing locally like that. I was looking in the new Rival bin, and this one popped out, and I was like, I've been needing a copy, so finally turned up on a classic here. This is Buffalo Springfield again. Never owned a copy. I had their greatest hits for the longest time, then I think I purged that one. I just always been wanting this one. This is a early repressing on Atco, which is fine with me. I'm not too crazy about, getting the originals of like the classics or anything, but what is there to say about this? I mean, Stephen Stills, Neil Young, originating from this group, and opens up with Mr. Soul, Bluebird, many people have covered, Rock and Roll Woman, which was covered by Southwest FOB. But my favorite track, which is probably like the oddball track on here, Expecting to Fly. That is just such a whimsical, ethereal track that, nobody ever saw coming off this one. So it was actually released as a single, which I was quite surprised by. It's definitely not a radio-friendly hit. I mean, it's just so dreamy, and you would think, man, these guys went into like a Moody Blues kind of atmosphere, But I love that. It's kind of rural sounding and kind of Baroque, a lot of Baroque touches and blemishes throughout. So it's really a treat off of this one. So if I had a favorite track, it'd probably be that one. But I also have a sweet spot for Mr. Soul. Just a great upbeat folk rocker. So yeah, man, definitely my favorite of theirs. Probably their magnum opus for sure. And then finally the fourth LP here. This is one I took a chance on. I was vaguely familiar with the sound of this one. I knew it was kind of like in the psychedelic soul region, and it certainly is. This is Privilege, self-titled on T-Bone. Is it T-Bone? Or T-Neck, excuse me. I was thinking T-Bone Steaks for some reason. It's T-Neck. So this is a label by the Isley Brothers? Yeah. And they kind of contacted the Isley Brothers through their connections with Soul Survivors, which they were a part of. I think 2 of the members were. And this is based, I think they were based out of Nashville, or maybe Memphis. I think one of those 2, but yeah. This is quite good. So, like I said, psychedelic soul, but it's got this kind of acid rock backing to it. Not too far from like a vanilla fudge sort of flavor to it. And pretty heavy throughout the whole thing. It's quite consistently good. Pretty straightforward. I mean, they don't throw any like psychedelic effects at your face or anything like that, but overall pretty solid. Got this for a great deal. You see it pop up once in a while, for $30-$45, but got this way under that, thankfully, and it's a nice copy. So, Privilege, I think this came out '69 maybe. Just quite a graphic there, with all them distorted members. It's their only LP as well, so yeah, like I said, I'm going to split these videos, this update, into 2 parts, so I don't know when the next one will come about, but hopefully not too long down the road. And hope you guys are doing well. I'm kind of working a lot of hours lately at work, so it's kind of harder to get these videos pushed out like I want to. And I guess I can make the disclaimer here as well, but you know, last year I was kind of all about pushing content out consistently, making sure, you know, I was kind of uploading well enough on the YouTube side of things to make you guys kind of, I don't know, entertained, I guess. I tried my best to kind of keep you guys updated what was going on with my collection and just things in general. And I think I might slow down a little bit this year. So if you don't expect a video within 2-4 weeks, expect that to be more of a common thing maybe this year. But we'll see. I mean, I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. I think I've been doing pretty well as far as pushing videos out for how busy I've been, especially last year. But like I said, it just might be a less common thing than it was. So there's that. Anyways, guys, stay tuned for the next update, and we shall see you soon.